Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully everybody is doing well. Well, guys, I am extremely excited because in today's video, we get to talk about a movie that I love that finally got a 4K restoration, and I'm super excited to talk about it. Not only is it a movie that I love and did it get a 4K restoration, but it also came out on a line that I don't have any of these other movies from this company, so I'm very excited to delve into that. And of course, I'm talking about the 4K release from Paramount Presents, and that's The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Now, before we get into this, guys, I got to ask you, do you like Blu-ray hunting videos, physical media, just movies in general, movie reviews, NECA hunting trips, basically anything physical media? Please consider subscribing. I'd love to have you on the channel. So before we delve into the restoration and all that kind of stuff, I just want to say that, first of all, this is my first Paramount Presents purchase. I've always thought it was a cool line. I've just never gotten anything by them. But I'm just going to go over the packaging real quick and we'll go from there. So for starters, I really like it. I love the artwork on there. I think it's really cool. We'll go on the back. And I'm not going to delve into special features. You don't get too many, but I'm going to put it right up there if you guys want to pause it and look at it. But yeah, that is one thing that you don't really get. I don't know if that's all of them, but on this one specifically, you don't really get too many special features. It's not a deal breaker, but it is something to just keep in mind. You get this really nice slipcover, which I already knew that they did this on this line, and I thought this was so cool, is it opens up. So you take the slipcover and it opens up and you get the theatrical poster. I always thought that was really cool, and I'm assuming that the slipcovers are just from like the first pressing, and then you probably just get the standard disc. But we're going to take it out of here, and it's just an all-around really cool presentation. I love the clear casing much more than a standard Blu-ray casing. I just thought that was really cool. You get the digital code, which I will be giving away at the end of this video. But it's kind of cool. We'll just open it up. You get some cool disc art on there. Very cool stuff. And you get some photos in the background. I'll take this out here real quick and we'll just kind of take a look at it. Like I said, I'm not going to delve super deep into the packaging, but I just give you a quick overview of just what kind of stuff you get. Now, if there's anything to complain about the packaging, there would be one thing. And the one thing is the fact that you have this, oops, hold on a second. I'll put this digital code back in here. We'll get to that later. The one complaint that I would have about this is the fact that the slipcover is very loose. I mean, you can hold it up and it just very easily just kind of slides right out. It doesn't, like if you don't kind of hold on to it, I mean, lots of them, some of them you have to go like this just to get it out. But I mean, you can lift it up and it just, it just falls right out. So you have to be a little careful about that. The slipcover does not stay on there super secure. Not a deal breaker, but something to be aware of if you're going to buy it. But I love the artwork. Yeah, and I love this movie. This is stars James Stewart and John Wayne, and is directed by John Ford. This is probably one of my top 5 favorite John Ford films. I'll just briefly go into what the movie's about in case you've never seen it. So The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance is... The movie basically starts off where Jimmy Stewart, who at the very beginning of the movie the beginning of the movie takes place like in the future. Most of this movie is told in like a flashback like story. So at the beginning of the movie, he's this kind of well-known senator who comes back to this small little town to bury a man. And of course, there's some news reporters there and stuff. They're like, why is a big-time senator, well-known senator, coming all the way back to this small little town just to bury this guy? And then Jimmy Stewart goes on to tell them, well, I was friends with the recently deceased. And then he goes on to tell this story about how years earlier in that exact same town, him and the guy who was recently deceased, he starts talking about their relationship and the experiences they had with this criminal named Liberty Valance. And so then the rest of the movie is just kind of told in a flashback story, and it kind of brings it all the way up to the present on and then you find out who it is who was deceased and why Jimmy Stewart was there and why it was so important that he was there and all that kind of stuff. And this film is absolutely fantastic, guys. It is so good. I would highly recommend it. Now let's delve a little bit into the actual restoration. So you get Dolby Vision, HDR, and Dolby Audio. We'll delve in real quick to the audio. The audio I thought was great. They cleaned it up really, really nicely. Everything was crisp and clear. I had no issues hearing anything. I had no issues with that. The music sounded good. Sometimes when you have audio tracks from old movies, they sound kind of like, they almost have kind of like an airy sound to them. This was a nice, full, bold sound. I had no issues whatsoever. A+ on the sound. I loved it. I don't think they could have done a better job. I had no issues with it. I mean, if you're a total audio tech, you might nitpick a little bit and have some issues with it. But from the standard average person, average Joe watching this movie, it's going to sound great. You're going to have no issues. Now, let's delve into the 4K with HDR. Now, some people might say, like, why would you waste your time on 4K with, like, old black and white movies or even old movies in general? Why aren't you saving that for putting it out on, like, Star Wars or something with a lot of special features or, like, a lot of special effects? And I don't think a lot of people realize that, like, what, like, 4K and HDR can do for old black and white films. When done correctly, they can make those old black and white films look stunningly beautiful. They do a fantastic job when done correctly. And I gotta say, they did this one correctly. This looks amazing. This looks so good. The blacks on the clothes are dark, rich, bold blacks. The whites are pure whites. The detail of every of like background stuff, like on this shot right here, you can see the background of the building with the little cement blocks. Everything is in fine detail where a lot of that stuff might disappear. If you look at this tree in the background here, you can see the bark. It really brings out the detail of the tree. If you look at like the chair on this wagon here, you can see the wear and tear of the wagon chair. You can tell that it's old. It's starting to see its age. The fabrics in their clothing really show up. You can see them really well. You can look at their faces. Like if you look at John Wayne's face here, I mean, the detail is just immaculate. You can see the little the lines in his face, every like curve, and just, you know, the stubble in his face. Even some of the wrinkles that he has there. It really shines through with that HDR and really brings out the detail. You can see in this shot here too, like you can see his face. You can see that there's a glistening of sweat across his face. It really does a great job. Or like with this wood in some of these shots, you can see every little inch of that wood and all the detail and this and that. It just looks fantastic. Now, I did see a couple of people who did review this, and they were nitpicking some things. I mean, one person I think got a 5, only gave it like 2.5 or 3 on the restoration. That's going to be people just nitpicking the heck out of this stuff. But once again, like I said with the audio, to the average Joe, it's going to look great. You're not going to be disappointed at all. Your grain levels are nice and thin. They don't interfere with the clothing at all. I mean, everything, like I said, with the black, you can see it a little bit more on the white and on some lighter type clothing. You'll be able to see that grain a little bit, but on the blacks, it just gets lost in there. It doesn't show up. I mean, you see some of these releases on DVD and stuff, and like those grains, like I talked about, if anybody saw my Candyman one, I was talking about the grain, and now sometimes in the clothing, you can really see it. They did a great job in that movie too of the grain not being distracting and like going in the clothes. But I mean, you see some DVD stuff and it's just horrendous, like how thick and distracting the grain is. This is nice and light. It doesn't affect anything. I was never once distracted by it. I mean, there are multiple times during the movie that I even forgot about the grain. You know, I mean, you can see it, but you forget about it because it's so minimal. Overall, I think they just did a fantastic job. So, for my personal opinion, I mean, it's a little more spendy, this set. I think it was like $35 for this, which is kind of what some standard 4Ks go for. But the fact that it didn't have that many special features might take away from it, but what you don't get there, you definitely get in the restoration. The sound, the visuals, every bit of it is outstanding. I mean, honestly, for as good as this movie is, this is a great restoration. This is a restoration that is deserving of this movie. For a movie that's this good, it needs to have a good restoration. And I tell you, Paramount Presents, I think, delivers. And honestly, I believe, I looked it up, I think this might be the very first 4K that they have ever put out. I kind of looked it up, and I didn't really see any others. So this might be the first 4K they've ever done. And if this is their first outing, I'm very excited to see what else they can do, because I was extremely, extremely impressed with this, and I think you will be too. Do yourself a favor, go out, pick it up, especially if you're a fan of John Ford Westerns. Just go get it, because this movie is great. I can't recommend it enough. I think you guys will absolutely love it too. All right, guys. Well, let's give away the digital code here. Like I said, I've said this in other videos, I don't ever use the digital codes. I don't ever claim them. If I don't give them away, they just go to waste. So, you know, this is kind of a thank you to you guys who watch my channel or subscribe to my channel. It's just like a thank you to you. Here you go. Here's some free movies. Check them out. But, yeah, we're going to do this the same way we've done it every other time, guys. First come, first serve. Yeah, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance. Here is your digital code. And there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Well, that's it, guys. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Lets me know you guys like what I'm doing. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and leave comments down below. Did you get this movie? Do you agree with my review? Do you not? What did you think of it? Have you seen the movie? Do you like the movie? Do you have any suggestions for any other John Ford movies or John Wayne movies that maybe I missed? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Let's talk about it. Thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it, guys. And I will see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.